the 14th of May, and back to the sketchbook. Fun sketching time again. So let's see what's going to happen today. Well, let's see. I've been drawing so many girls, I thought maybe I'd try to do a guy this time. Just to be different. So, when I'm drawing faces and stuff, I tend to my think is about this is I look for intensity in an image, and by intensity I look for like what is the real concentrated energy that I want to put that I want to find, and so I'm looking to find it in the face or in the expression or something, because an expression will carry a certain tension with it and a certain intensity. So you want to kind of capture that. If you can get that intensity, then what that does is it really gives you, or it can give you some purpose. It can give you some purpose as to, okay, how important is this um, pose, or how important is this action, or you know, and on a face, you've got a lot of you find the direction of what is the pose you're looking at, what is the direction, what is the character doing, what is the whoops, looks like I got this in here, uh, erase that. I look for what is the purpose behind the pose or the expression. What am I trying to say? What is the focus? And I try to tell myself there's a story behind what the character is doing. So like in this case here, this guy is, he's looking kind of down. So I'm thinking like, well, maybe he's flying through the air. Maybe he's, you know, maybe he's diving out of something, and he's gonna dive on top of something. I don't know. So and see, when you think, also here's another thing to think about. Like normally when you think of drawing something, you think of the construction that you got to do to get to what's there. When we draw like the way I'm drawing now, the idea is, well, okay, so what do you see it on the page? Yeah, kind of. That's true. I kind of do. Now I don't see the whole image on the page. So in other words, I don't see when I started to draw his eyes and chin. I didn't know. It wasn't until I started to draw the chin or the teeth or whatever that it has certainly started to occur to me. Like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll have this kind of an expression, or the hair is going to be this close to us, or whatever. I didn't see that right away. Okay, I just thought, oh, okay, well, I'll draw this. Okay, but what happens is each thing affects the next thing. So, like for instance, here, I can say, well, if his arm, let's say he's going to hit something, then let's say he's got an arm cocked back here, you see. So you could see how I'd have to get this arm back here, and I'd have to get the fist out. So now I got to imagine, well, what's the fist going to look like, right? So it's kind of like the understanding that one thing leads to another. You've got one part of the character that has to be in a certain place in order for the other part of the character to connect with it. So let's say like here, for instance, let's say he's got this arm, it's coming towards us, right? So we know we got to make the arm bigger as it gets closer to us, right? So I project out this way, right? And then I know his back has got to be back here. So, and of course, once again, the wonderful ability to change the sizes on things, so I can zoom it down and get more of his body in here. But you can see how now, see, like I got to make that fist bigger, right? Because it's going to come. So my approach here is really each part of the character sort of um, dictates what the next part has to be. you know, if I draw this, then I got to draw this, and if I draw that, then I got to draw that. Whatever. So that's kind of how I'm doing some of this. And because I do know anatomy to a degree, and I wouldn't say I'm a perfect person at anatomy, but I'm decent, I guess. I can kind of pretty much get things in the right place, or I can pretty much go like, okay, well, I know this is probably what it's going to be here, and this is probably what it's going, so I can be in the ballpark. See, I know that my drawing is pretty much where I want it to be. It's pretty much, and I might have to go back and make some adjustments, of course, because it might not, I very seldom would I say that, my drawings are going to be 100% accurate and right and everything's going to be just where it should be. That doesn't usually, it's not usually the case. Usually that got to make some adjustments. But see, you can see that if I'm looking at it, that one thing leads to another. You can see how I'm building the drawing from each stage that I'm going through there. I'm building the drawing. I'm building what's happening. And I'm continuously making alterations. Yeah. Let's see. Probably might have some kind of outfit on. I don't know what kind. Let's see. Maybe give him. Might even put some. Maybe put some. What do you call it? Some gear on him, like he's a soldier or some sort, and he's wearing some kind of gear. I don't know. Let's see. It's nice too to be able, when you shade your drawings, then you can define edges or where something starts and stops, because you need to be able to do that. To have a sense of, okay, the hair starts here and the costume starts there, and all that kind of stuff. I like shading too for lighting, making a decision about lighting, because um, there's some things maybe about lighting that you want to make some adjustments that'll also give you a little bit more of a dramatic feel. So, like, you got your guy here flying through the air, but what if you also deal with the lighting? So, let's say we want to carry this lighting thing so that, there's a sense of drama to this. So, what if we color everything in except his eyes and his teeth? you know. Or maybe, you know what, let's see, hang on a second. Let's back up on this color here. Let's back up on, yeah, okay, so let's go to a slightly lighter, maybe just a little bit lighter. It's not the same. Well, let's see. Do we want to make that be that? Color is very similar. Let's try, because it needs to be distinctly different. All right, so yeah, maybe like this. Of course, when you go this way, though, it doesn't really make a lot of. Because see, what I'm thinking about here is I'm thinking about a lighting scenario. So maybe like um, maybe I can do something like this where the light is maybe not quite like a rim light, but it's we're getting a little bit of light on the face here, and keeping the teeth and the eyes light could sort of accent where the light's hitting, so like here, you know doing that maybe. Something to think about. I'm just trying to create sort of a dynamic here. Then maybe let's see. Hmm. Well, let's see. We could then. Let's see. So. Hmm. Well, let's see. We could do a darker color, say, on the background. Yeah. So let's see if we take the background here and we create a. Whoops. Okay. What I'm going to do here is fill this in. Okay. So now what I got to do is I've got to take white and put the white in the areas over the character where the light would have shone against the black. You see, like that. There you go. So now you've got the, yeah, you got the white effect there. All right, and yeah. Because see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a kind of dramatic thing. All right, then let's see on the. Let's see. We'll use a soft lead here so that we can do some, quick little speed lines here. So he's plummeting here. Let's see. Yeah. So you see what I mean? See, I basically have created kind of a speed line, kind of an effect there. So, anyways, but I thought I'd do something. I'm drawing girls all the time. I thought to give you something a little different. Okay, so all right, that's the drawing for the day. Ooh. So, but yeah, so I hope you got something from that. I hope that was maybe somewhat helpful to you. So, hey, have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow, and don't forget, Jesus is Lord.